Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's more bad news for mainstream media, for the legacy media. We're going to take a look at this. Apparently, MSNBC is posting another critical ratings low. And their ratings have been cratering for weeks now after the election. And of course, they're trying to blame it on Trump. They're trying to.
Except unless there's that other guy who has that Substack, and then they're it's because they kissed Trump's rear end, and they were giving him a platform. It's like no.
People realize they've been lied to, or they're burnt out. I mean, it could be that they're incredibly burnt out. I know some people are tuning out just because they're like, God, it's been nothing but nonstop politics and Trump bashing or Harris bashing leading up to the election. It's over. I don't want to hear about it. I want to enjoy the holidays, right? Mm-hmm. Like who wants to talk about this stuff during the holidays, except for us, apparently. But we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Check out clownfishminus.com. We got some merch out there, a couple of signed pins left. These mugs have been incredibly popular. So
good price too.
Yeah, they're nice. I got some samples coming in so we can drink out of our Clownfish mugs. If you want to get the same exclusive digital content, you can go out to clownfishtv.locals.com and support us over there as well. Depends on what platform you'd like to support us. So thank you. You know who's not getting support is the mainstream media.
Yeah, no, especially if you're CNN and MSNBC. Everybody's going to Fox. This is from Fox News. But yeah, they're saying that the network sees lowest ratings, the smallest non-holiday weekend audience in 20 years in the 25 to 54 demographic.
Oh my God. Okay, so this is again coming from Fox News, which is gloating now because they actually picked up on. So everybody tried to say, hey, nobody's watching mainstream media news anymore. No, they're not watching left-wing media news. CNN cratered, MSNBC cratered. Fox actually picked up a whole bunch of people, which is weird, but it did. So.
Well, they're probably figuring, they kept telling us the whole time that it wasn't going to go that way. Everyone else said it was, and then they were right. So maybe we need to listen to them. I don't know.
Anybody that paid attention, especially, being here in Pennsylvania, and I've actually been telling people, or I was telling people on X, I'm like, I'm here in Pennsylvania, and I'm seeing more support for Trump now than I did in 2016. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely something, like if they're trying to tell you that he's leading or that Harris was leading in Pennsylvania, it's like, no, there's no way in hell. Like even in Pittsburgh, I did not see nearly as many Harris signs as I did Hillary and Biden.
Well, he even went to our son's college. And the thing is, I wouldn't have expected it to be a big turnout there, because it's college. It was insane. People waited in line for hours. Luckily, he didn't have to go in that day, so he stayed away from the campus because he didn't want to deal with people.
I didn't want him going to the campus because I'm like, this wasn't too long after the incident in Butler.
Yeah, so I'm like,
I don't want you going because I don't know what's going to happen.
And it was nuts. Like the amount of people there was crazy. It was like packed to the gills. It was as much as they kept trying to say it wasn't. But my point is, I think a lot of people, they started leaving immediately MSNBC and CNN after the election because they felt they were lied to. And then it didn't help that they were, the hosts were blaming it on other marginalized groups. And now they're trying to say, oh, no, it's because people are turned against them because Morning Joe went to Mar-a-Lago. And I'm like, but that happened days, a while after this. It was almost immediate and it's still falling off a cliff. And why is Fox going up? These other places are leaving if everybody is just mad because they thought they kissed Trump's butt. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, how things change, though.
Oh, I know.
This video. Flashback, MSNBC's Jim Psaki gushed that Biden's pledge not to pardon Hunter showed true character.
Yeah, now he's pardoning him. And not just pardoning him for one thing, pardoning for 10 years, 11 years, so he gets away with it. Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about this. Let's talk about ratings, right? So MSNBC had one of its worst days in 2 decades last week as the liberal network continues to struggle on the heels of Trump's victory over Harris. On November 26th, MSNBC had the lowest rating non-holiday weekday among the advertiser-coveted demographic of adults 25 to 54 in 20 years.
I believe it.
20 years.
And we're not talking about right after the election. We're talking a couple of weeks after the election. Still dropping off a cliff.
MSNBC managed only 38,000 average demo viewers, its smallest non-holiday audience among the critical viewers since July 19th, 2004.
I'm waiting for the excuses because remember before it was a pandemic? Well, they're traveling for the holidays.
Oh yeah, it's like Disney where people didn't come to the movie or didn't come to our theme parks because it was cold. It was
Yeah,
too
there was
hot.
a hurricane.
There was a hurricane. There was some snow. That's, no, they're tuning out. And yeah, I do believe, I'm going to be honest, I do believe some people are tuning out because they're super far left and they're trying to walk back to the middle. I've seen this with CNN, but it's like you cultivated this audience. You can't go back, right? And that's all you have now. You basically chased off the normies years ago, and now you're stuck with these far left people. And unless you tell them everything they want to hear,
yes,
they're going to tune you out.
Yeah, and so they're saying they're not listening to them anymore because of Trump. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense because that was the case, Fox ratings wouldn't have gone up. You know what I mean? They just wouldn't be listening to anyone. But Fox ratings went up significantly.
Because it could be that, yeah, I mean, some people tuned out because they were mad that they were, given Trump airtime or whatever. But I honestly think the normies left MSNBC and CNN and they went to Fox News. Because
they're like, why? How could you be so wrong? But if you go down here, it says a variety of MSNBC, keep going down, programs hit all-time lows on Tuesday as the 11th hour Stephanie, is it Ruley? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't watch these people. And Jose Diaz, whatever, reports had their smallest audience ever among total viewers. And Chris Jansen reports Deadline, White House, and Katie Tur reports had their worst days ever among the demo. So we're not talking about this one show. Like, it's fallen off a cliff across the board. And I know there was another article, I don't know if you pulled it up or not, but they were saying that Rachel Maddow was having, she suffers worst ratings of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're all dropping. They had Joy Reid. She dropped 50%. Rachel Maddow, according to The Independent. She had the worst ratings of the year as Fox News steals the spotlight. This is The Independent.
And again,
this is a left-wing newspaper.
And again, I want to point out, if it was because they were so helping Trump out and they're all kissing Trump's butt, and then and the audience is left because of that, the audience left like right after the election. You're like talking weeks later, and that might still be the case, but the audience left like almost immediately. So that was before they did those things. So what was your explanation for that?
Oh my God. She got beaten by a rerun of Ancient Aliens.
Okay, well, ancient astronaut theorists suggest that she's full of shit.
Oh my God.
We watch Ancient Aliens. Well, actually, it's one of Neon's favorite shows.
It is one of my favorite shows. Yeah. I don't believe everything on it, but sometimes there's a kernel.
Don't you know that weed came from aliens anyway? We learned that the other day.
So a rerun. It's not even a new Ancient Aliens.
That's bad. Rachel Maddow got beat by that. It was Rachel Maddow, right?
Yes,
got beat by an Ancient Aliens rerun. Oh my God. Yeah, and she is ridiculously highest paid.
She is way overpaid. She saw her viewership. I have to reread this to make sure I'm reading this correctly. Perhaps more stark is the network's biggest star, most highest paid star, saw her viewership sink to the point where she was beaten by a rerun of Ancient Aliens. Holy shit.
Go ahead. MSNBC has lost 47% of its overall audience since election night.
Oh my God.
Compared to the rest of the year, averaging just 497,000 total day views and 49,000 in the advertising demographic of that age range. CNN has also seen double-digit losses, dipping 33% and pulling in just 357,000 total daily viewers and 65,000 in the key demo.
People would rather watch reruns of Ancient Aliens.
Well, they're over politics for one. They're tired of being lied to.
I think a lot of people are.
They're tired of being lied to, or they're just out busy, shaving their head and putting on chastity belts. I don't know.
Keep the aliens from anal probing them.
Yeah, the aliens. That's why.
The aliens, yeah. In the prime time, the post-election drop is even more severe, while a right-wing juggernaut Fox News has unsurprisingly seen its ratings soar with Trump's win, surging 24%. And drawing 3 million viewers, MSNBC has sunk 52%. This is dire. This is not sustainable. Like, we know that Comcast is trying to scrape them off the bottom of their shoes, but who the hell is going to buy this?
And that's the thing. They all keep taking sides. And then what happens is when your side doesn't win, people don't trust you. And I think it's a problem, not just this year. It happened to Fox last time too. And it's just like, why can't news outlets just go back to just being reporting news and not having biases, just reporting the news? Like, can't we just report the news?
We pivoted,
let people think for themselves.
We pivoted definitely leading up to the first election, the first coming of Trump, right? We pivoted to just talking heads, right? I mean, that's fine if you're doing commentary and it's marked as opinion and commentary, but when you're trying to peddle the news and the news is all coded in commentary, it's no longer technically the news. Now,
Yeah, it
we
sounds
do
like it's just opinion all the time.
opinion on the news. You're reacting to the news. That's what we do.
Right, but we
we're
say
just-
that we do
We
that.
say that. We're just YouTubers, right?
We're
just-
not saying we're like, you know,
the trusted media, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, nobody
we tell
trusts
you, and
it.
I will tell you again, like I always tell you, that if you whatever we say, go do your own research and look it up. Don't just take our word for it. Go see what you can find about it. But yeah, the telecast represented Maddow's lowest overall viewership in the year and the worst performance in the demo since 2015.
Wow.
Week to week, Maddow was down 13% in total viewers and 34% in the demographic of 25 to 54.
So there's a lot of infighting on the left right now because we're seeing like the Young Turks pivot to try to chase the populist chuck wagon, I guess. And Bernie Sanders has turned on the Democrats. And
Here's the thing, you can't stay in business if you don't try to appeal to the widest audience.
you need to meet people where they're at.
Or if you just tell
right?
the truth, you get both sides. I mean, I'm just saying, you know.
Well, I don't know. Do people want the truth? I mean, maybe
I don't know.
maybe
They want their flavor. They don't want their, I mean, I'd rather be told the truth than be told. I think that's what most people are at. I'd rather be told the truth, and it might not be what I want to hear, but at least I'm braced for it, than be told what they think I want to hear over and over and over and over again, and then be surprised when it's not that.
That's just a bug bite, honest. Oh, no, sorry, it's terminal cancer, and I just didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to be sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like they did the left no favors, their own media outlets, by lying to them because they thought if they just manifested the good vibes for Harris that she was going to win. But anybody who was actually paying attention to the country outside of Portland in LA would realize that like she wasn't that popular. She really wasn't that popular.
She was in the populous centers, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't account for the entire public. But this doesn't surprise me at all. I am surprised that people. I guess it's surprising to me that people were listening to them and then all jump to Fox. You know what I mean? I guess that surprises me quite a bit.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, it gets better?
Even more startling. Again, this comes from the Independent. This is a left-wing newspaper. Even more startling is just how far she was behind the rest of the cable TV competition in the demographic audience. In her 9 p.m. slot, for instance, Fox's broadcast of Family Guy and Adult Swim airings of Bob's Burgers both outdrew the Rachel Maddow show in the advertising metric.
Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers.
And Family Guy. I mean,
Yeah.
they're both more entertaining.
And then the repeat of Ancient Aliens pulled in 5,000 more viewers than Maddow.
In that demographic. Yeah. Well, Ancient Aliens is
Holy
good.
hell.
Weird, but good.
I mean, this is like, there's failure, and then there's this. Like, wherever the hell this is, and it's not just MSNBC. I mean, MSNBC, one way or another, it's toast. Either they'll shut it down, they're selling it off, they're bundling it up, there are rumors that Musk is going to buy. I don't know if he's going to or not. Why would he? He could just, like, put talking heads on X or something. But this is not sustainable. And so the advertisers are going to look at this, and they're going to be like, oh, hell, stay away from this network.
Yeah. Well, what gets me though is how flighty these people are, especially since they're mad at the One Morning Joe show because they went to Restart Communications to Mar-a-Lago because they wanted to talk to him just to get where he's coming from, which makes sense. When you don't understand something, you try to learn, you try to talk it out, you try to see what you can find out, and then because they bothered trying to communicate and trying to learn and see where they're at and see what's going on, people left the show or they left watching the show because you're supposed to not engage. I'm like, how's that going to work for you? He's going to be the president.
So
it doesn't work that way.
You're supposed to just boycott him because he's practically Hitler.
I'm like, how batshit are you? You know?
So what would Fox News do if Harris had won? Would they just be like, we're not gonna cover President Bitchface because we don't agree with her, so
and
we're
they
gonna talk
wouldn't.
about
And that's what I'm
ourselves.
saying. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, to me, understanding that, okay, we lost the popular vote too. Let's go. At least talk it out. Try to talk it out. Try to so we can still have him on the show. We can still try to understand where they're coming from. To me, that's a sign of maturity, and that's smart. I would argue if Harris had won and Fox had done, I would say they did the same. I'd say the same thing, that's a sign of maturity and stuff. If people left the show because of that, I'd be like, that's more a reflection of your audience.
Yeah.
The fact that they can't stand it, that they can't deal with reality. I guess I can't wrap my head around it. It's like when Obama won and people were like have to send permission slips home to see if your kid could watch his speeches or whatever. And I was like, why? He's a president. You shouldn't have permission slips for that.
Yeah, I thought that
it's kind of like
crazy.
that. I'm just like, this is insanity. at this point.
This is some coping here, though. This is how they end it. Post-election dip in viewership was always projected, and internal thinking is it will pick up in the new year post-inauguration.
Yeah, when everybody starts
the network.
Yes, when everybody starts covering Trump evenly. Well, it won't be evenly, but you know what I mean. They'll have to cover him because he's the president, and then everybody has to like go back to their regular lives, and it's no longer Biden, and it probably will go back if they. I'll tell you what you do to win. Here's what you do to win CNBC, MSNBC, and CNN, and all these other places. Report the news. Not your personal opinion masquerading as the news. Report the news as accurately and unbiased and fairly as you can, and people will come back.
Well, look at this. So it's not just because people are tuning out. CNN was up 36% in prime time. Fox surged 90% in the evenings. Even the centrist startup cable channel News Nation saw a double centrist.
It is centrist, yeah.
News Nation saw a double-digit growth year over year, growing 22% in prime time. So it's just a you problem. It's just a far left problem. People are over it. They're done. They're over it. It's, you were very, very wrong. And all the, screaming about Trump and the Republicans and all this stuff, it didn't do any good.
You're just chasing away a bunch of your audience. So
yep. So we're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
There we go, guys. So
that's why I lost the audience. Most of those people voted for Trump, probably. Anyway.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.